Hi, my name is Holly and welcome to my channel, Holly Go Read. So if you're on this video, you clicked on and knowing that this is a video about how I rate things, both for stars and my own special system for flames. And that is a spice rating because I read a lot of romance and smutty things, and I want to be able to give a clarified answer on how spicy things are. So let's go ahead and get my Goodreads star rating system out of the way. So anyone who's on Goodreads knows that you rate from 1 to 5 stars. I really wish that they would get on board with the half-star system because there's just so many gray areas. So I even had to add a few categories for myself to explain on how I rate things. If I'm rating something a 1 star, that is a book I really did not like. That doesn't happen often. I will usually DNF books that I genuinely dislike, but if I've slogged through because of some promise on a premise that I just really thought I was gonna like, and I never get there, and it's a 1, I hated that book. I am vitriolic in my hatred for this book. Couple come to mind. Surprise Me by Sophie Kinsella. I hated so much. I just genuinely hated it. It really started my understanding that for whatever reason, British rom-coms, their blurbs are lies. To me, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just got unlucky now 3 times, but the blurbs just do not match the book, do not match the tone. It's really unfortunate because I know that the authors don't write the blurbs, and that's been my biggest, and that's usually what gets a 1 star, which is probably kind of unfair, but it is what it is when the blurb doesn't match the book. I am from the blurb, you are sold on a premise, and that's why you pick up the book. If the blurb doesn't match the book, you have the wrong premise, you have the wrong expectations going in, and that's not fun for anyone. Same thing happened to me with I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica Sanchez. I despise that book. I've never returned a book that I didn't like to get my money back until that book, and that really hurts my feelings because it was a Hispanic Heritage Month read, and it really hurt my feelings to do it, but I'd never hated a book that much. Still to this day, don't think I've ever hated a book that much. Anyway, a 2 star is something that is more annoying than enjoyable. And the best example I have for that was Crave by Tracy Wolff. That book is trash. I'm sorry if you liked it. That book is trash. And it was just so, and that's how I would categorize it. It was annoying the whole way through. I wanted it to be better and it wasn't, and I was just annoyed the whole time. It wasn't good enough to be funny. It was just, really? Okay, the whole time. And yeah, so more annoying than enjoyable is how I categorize a 2 star. For a 3 star, so that is something that I categorize as it was all right. It was middle of the road. It's the middle. 3 stars is the middle of the road. It probably wasn't my taste. It didn't click with me. That's usually what I will say with a 3 star read. Now, there's a 3.5 that I will add a caveat for. A 3.5 is good. I didn't dislike it, but it wasn't overly memorable for me. And I have quite a few of those. I will say that a 3.5 is probably the lowest I will go before recommending a book to somebody. Saying, yeah, you should give it a read, because it might be their taste, and I thought it was good. Just, it wasn't for me, probably. A 4 star. Now we're getting up there. We're getting higher. A 4 star is a really good book. A solid recommendation for me. If you see something that's gotten a 4 star from me, I enjoyed it. And to some people that may be too low a threshold, Maybe for most people, that's what a 5-star is. But I'm very stingy with 5 stars, and that's probably offensive to some people. I also do a lot of 4.5 stars. That's a book that just was really good. It was there, but I had some complaints. I had a few complaints that just kept it from being a 5-star for me, because the 5 stars are the best books. The ones that change your life, the ones that change your view on something, the ones that give you a perspective you've never had before, the ones that change the way you think about a trope, the books that you want to quote over and over again. High emotional impact. That's what gets a 5. I'm a very emotional reader. I'm a very big mood reader. So to get a 5-star, it has to have high emotional impact for me. And again, maybe I'm too stingy with my 5s. Maybe that's why my Goodreads rating is really low, but that is how I rate on Goodreads. So now for the fun part, shall I call it my spice scale? Let's call it the spice scale. So for the first level of spice, a 1 flame, we're talking PG. Think classics. Think Jane Austen. We're talking about 1 or 2 tender kisses, maybe some brushing of hands, some hand holding. Maybe these are the books that are appropriate for all ages. Thinking like the most chaste of romances. But it's still a romance. That's why it gets a little flame. 2 flames. Think PG-13. Most of Twilight. Think the fade to black. There is no on-page sexy times in a 2 flame. Yeah, we're talking that fade to black. There are no on-page sexy times. We might get some making out. We might get some heavy petting, but no sexy times. That's the difference. For 3 flames, here's where we're finally getting some spice. This is the first level of on-page sexy times. But nothing outlandish, okay? Nothing that is out of the norm. Nothing non-vanilla. Think chick lit sexy times. Like, yes, they're doing it. But it's not exactly a panty dropper. You feel me? You feel me? We're getting higher on that spice scale. 4 flames. 4 flames, we're stepping up the heat. We got multiple on-page sexy times. Probably enough that if it was an audiobook, you might blush. Enough that if you were reading it in public, you might start feeling a little uncomfy. Depending on who you are. Maybe you're chill with reading out and out smut in public. I don't know you. Maybe you cool with that. I would start to blush here. And then 5 flames. We're talking very spicy. Very, very spicy. Some would you like some plot with your sexy times spicy. Okay, we're talking like novellas. Smutty novellas spicy. They contain dark or taboo elements. That's gonna be your level 5 spice. A lot of my books fall under level 5 spice. It is what it is. So yeah, those are my 2 rating systems. I will probably leave this video in the title cards for a lot of other videos. I'll leave it on my wrap-ups and anything like that. Anytime I reference my rating systems, I will link back to this. So if that's how you got here, cool. For those watching it for the first time, thanks for hanging out with me today. Let me know how you rate. Am I being too stingy with my 5s? Leave me some comments down below and let's talk about it. Again, thanks for spending time with me today, y'all. Bye.